I'm Belovit. We have a special topic for the audience tonight. Business cycle is a pattern that can be observed all over the world. In the United States, many businesses are affected by the changes in the business cycle. I'm with our live reporter, Alcy Hollick, who's here to interview a business owner out of Traverse City on his own experiences with the business cycle. Over to you, Al.
Thank you, Idon. In our nation, we have a pattern of macroeconomic expansion followed by a macroeconomic contraction called the business cycle. Right now, I'm with a local business owner who has agreed to give us an inside look into how the business cycle can be seen through him and his business. So to get us started, where do you believe we are right now in the business cycle?
All right, so for my company, like personally, I would say we're probably still in an expansion phase.
Okay. Have you ever felt the economic peak, which is the height of an economic expansion, or a trough, which is the lowest point in economic contraction through your business?
We've been in business for about 10 years now, and we've felt some highs and lows, but I don't know that we ever saw, I guess the closest we got to a contraction was back when we had that Black Swan event with COVID in 2020, where we did see quite a few of our customers kind of go away for a short period of time, but ever since then it feels like we've been in expansion.
Okay. Have you ever gone through an economic recession, which is a prolonged economic contraction?
The closest thing, again, would probably be during COVID. We were actually trucking along pretty good before COVID. Had a small time where things kind of dropped off for us, where you might say there was a small contraction, but really that was about it.
All right. What about an instance of economic growth, which is a steady long-term increase in real GDP?
We're in the service industry, and so I would say that, but in the service industry, I mean, we provide a service for folks. You know, we don't sell a product.
Yeah.
The entire time that we've been in business, I think we've been fortunate enough to see things kind of climb and continue to expand. I don't recall a time where it wasn't doing that, to be honest. We've had steady growth every year that we've been in business, and a lot of the other people in our niche have been too.
All right. How about economic depression, like a deep recession or stagflation, which is the decline in real GDP combined with a rise in price?
I haven't had an instance where I think that the gross domestic product really affected us very much, to be honest. Again, and I sound like a broken record, but the only time that we maybe saw a little bit of that would have been 2020, where things dropped off for a little while. It did make it hard on a lot of the other businesses around us, and some of them that recovered from that. We had some clients that went bankrupt that were pretty solid, but we continued to grow.
All right. And finally, and most importantly, how does the cycle affect you and other businesses and business owners all throughout the nation?
Well, it definitely does have an impact. So my company is in marketing and advertising. And some of the smaller businesses that we work with, when times get tough, when they start tightening up their belt loops and they don't want to spend budget, marketing and advertising, unfortunately, can be one of the first things that they get rid of, even though they shouldn't. That's the time to advertise. And I would say that as it goes right now, we have a lot of inflation going on. So a lot of companies, I think, around the world, in just here locally, are suffering from that, especially the ones that are selling the product. Especially if you look at car dealerships and how high the prices have gone on cars really fast. And if you look at your repair shops that can't get parts right now, and when they can, they're pricing out people are waiting a long time before they actually make a move. Small dents don't get fixed anymore.
Well, you heard it here, folks. I'd like to thank Bob for doing this interview with me, so we can get a better insight and understanding of how the business cycle affects businesses and everything. Back to you, Idon.
Thank you, Al. Now that we know more about the business cycle, let's discuss the 4 factors that keep it going. Business investment, interest rates and credit, consumer expectations, and external shocks. They all help to continue the business cycle in a free market. Business investment increases output and jobs in the economy, which increases the GDP. This helps to maintain expansion, but eventually firms may decrease investment spending. This causes decreased production, causing them to start laying off workers. Then, because of this, the economy can go into a recession, continuing the business cycle. Second, external shocks are unpredictable and can cause expansion and retraction in the economy. If a hurricane hits part of a country, that would tear down an entire chunk of the economy. But if a river were to erode and reveal a bunch of gold, it could heavily boost the economy in an area. This would put the economy into an expansion, on the other hand, continuing the business cycle. Third, consumer expectations of the economy will cause them to influence expansions and contractions. If they're not confident in the economy, consumers will spend less. And if they are confident, consumers will spend more in the economy. Interest rates and credit work together to influence the economy as the last. When interest rates increase, we witness a decrease in spending with credit, as people will not be able to pay off their bills putting the economy into a contraction. But when it's the opposite, individuals and businesses begin to borrow more because it's more cheaper, causing an expansion. In the history of the United States, there are many cases of recessions, perhaps the most recountable being the Great Depression, although more widely considered a worldwide crisis, made it so that 1 in 4 Americans were unemployed. This impact served as a wake-up call to economists, pushing them to reevaluate government intervention in the economy and it was necessary to maintain a stable economy. Because of the events of the Depression, along with many other recessions and periods of growth, American economists have collected lots of data and they are able to predict economic trends. Using the many factors that come into play, economists have been able to benefit the economy through accurate predictions of changes in the business cycle, allowing the government to make changes and prepare to benefit the general public. They use a set of key indicators to change called the leading indicators to predict recessions and growth. This has been 8 and 9 1/2 News. Thanks for watching.